Good afternoon, welcome back. Today's the first day of March Madness. If you're into basketball, college basketball, tournaments and stuff, today's the beginning. A couple games have already been played. Speaking of March Madness, a couple videos ago I talked about the weather here in North Carolina. And today we woke up with the coldest temperature of March, and we are going to end with the warmest temperature of the day. So crazy again, a wide spread of temperatures and weather here. But let me talk to you today about driving, I guess. Was on my way. We had an event at work today in the afternoon for March Madness, and so I left work and I was driving there, and in the opposite lane on the interstate that I was going in, the opposite direction that I was going in. I don't know how many car accidents, 3 or 4 cars, looked like it was all over the place. I saw one car with the driver's side door smashed in, another car with the back end all smashed in. Obviously it was rear-ended. Looked like one car may have been going spun sideways and got hit. I don't know, it looked like maybe some other ones, but at that point the traffic approaching, the lanes were blocked, so they were slowing down, and as I was approaching, it wasn't like a lot of traffic stop and go or whatever out there. So it was just confusing to me as to what happened. No lights to turn red, and all of a sudden everybody's got to stop, or anyway, just a kind of confusing situation. But got me thinking a little bit about driving. And my son completed his 4th night of driving last night, so the only thing he's waiting for now before his permit is his 15th birthday. And after that, and he's going to be behind the wheel. Technically, he's already been behind the wheel a couple times, but this time on a permit and under our purview. So that'll be interesting. From what I understand from the instructor, he did very well during his driving, and I was kind of impressed by the things that they did. He went out for 4 days, and I guess drove about an hour each time. And when I was driving, we sat in a classroom, got some instruction there, and then our school had a lot in cars, and we would drive around, learn some maneuvers there, and then we did some driving on the road. But with my son's driving, car fly or something, they took him out into specific situations. First night they just kind of around town driving, getting used to that. And then the next night, I don't know what they were focusing on, but they did what they call off-road recovery. So as the kids are driving, the instructor just grabs the steering wheel and yanks it, and off the road they go, and they need to react to that. So it seems like a little bit more intensive. I don't remember an instructor ever doing that to me, but definitely more intensive driving education than what I went through, and it's probably a good thing. At least he's exposed to what happens if a car goes off the road and how to react and what to do. And drove on the interstate, drove at night, parallel park, did all this stuff. But a couple weeks here, a little over 2 weeks, excuse me, he'll be getting his permit and starting to drive. And just as any parent, you go through that as they get older, and been through it a couple times already. But it doesn't make the next few times any easier. It's something you have to go with and try to educate them and talk to them about what can happen. And my son was telling of an episode that he had last night. I guess somebody was kind of speeding through the parking lot, and he was doing his maneuvers, and they were a distance off, and then the next thing he looked, and they were there, right there with him, and kind of, I don't know if it necessarily startled him, but he certainly didn't expect it. And the instructor talked about the situation and said, you always have to expect the unexpected, always out there, and what I was trying to tell my son too is, you can be right, the other person can be wrong, but you still need to be aware and react positively to not get in that accident, even if it's the other person's fault, and you can be all in the right. But if you need to do something, slow down, speed up, change lanes, whatever, to avoid it, you need to do that, because you could be right all day long, and if they come and hit you, you still have the consequences of being in a wreck and possibly replacing a car, possibly insurance rates going up, and all sorts of stuff. So just little things like that I think as experienced drivers we take for granted, and as new drivers they don't think about. So it's just trying to pass that along, and those kinds of tips and tricks. So should be interesting. Like I said, in about 2 weeks he's going to be permitted and legally allowed to drive on the road, so I'm looking forward to that. He is also going to be learning to drive a stick shift, so that should be interesting in itself. So hopefully we'll get some of that on video and get to share that with you. But anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I hope you have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.